All right, the good news in the forecast. We covered that at the top of the newscast, but I'll remind you, the wind is getting better. So no doubt you noticed today was less windy than yesterday. Tomorrow we're going to have even less of that. Temperatures are going to stay put. I'm going to put those on the map in 1 second. First thing I want to talk to you about is the view out that window. Notice how there is no clouds, no marine layer. We woke up this morning, a June morning, without a scrap of the marine layer anywhere in sight. We've done it for a couple of days now. So first thing we need to discuss is, when's that coming back? Because it is coming back. Let's get our perspective on the satellite imagery behind me here. And what we're going to use is this forecast imagery to show you how the marine layer is going to build back in over the next 2 days. Tomorrow on Sunday, when you wake up, same story. You're going to have clear skies, no marine layer on Sunday morning either. But you can see what starts filling in here. There's your Sunday afternoon. There's not much to see. But watch what happens by the time we get to Monday. Look how much more of this now starts filling in off the coast. So by Monday, we get into early next week, and we likely will see the marine layer fill back in. That's one depiction of what it could look like going into perhaps Monday morning, but I think more likely Tuesday. If we get any of this on Monday, it shouldn't be that impressive. Maybe a few low clouds right through the immediate Golden Gate, and then they're gone by late morning. Tuesday, it starts to come back in a somewhat more impressive way, and then we'll kind of get back into a classic June pattern, at least going into the early and middle part of next week. What does this mean for daytime highs? Take a look at tomorrow. No difference on here. These numbers are pretty much identical to what we're doing out there today, so you can think of this as both today's daytime highs and tomorrow's daytime highs. There's really not a whole lot of difference in terms of the way the two are going to stack up. Monday will be different. We're going to start a little bit of a warming trend by the time we get into Monday that will then hold us throughout the duration of the week. So let me show you what that's going to look like, because that really makes the whole theme over the next 7 days. You'll see a little bit of a bump in the numbers as we get into the early part of next week. So we're starting out with our forecast on here that shows you what the numbers will be like for the Bay. And these numbers are pretty much in the low to mid 70s. There's your marine layer. And there's your cool down. So a little bit more of the marine layer mix. It'll probably stick around for a couple of mornings through the middle of the week, and you can see what daytime highs look like on there as well, where they're pretty much just looking at numbers that are doing pretty much average. And to finish this story, here's the 7-day forecast for our inland microclimates. A lot of mid-80s. So you're like low 80s today and tomorrow. And then much of next week, we'll do a bunch of mid-80s, maybe a little bit of a drop there on Tuesday when the marine layer fills back in, but it shouldn't last long. All right, Andrea, over to you.